Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's session. Today in this session we will be talking about this project on Git. Firstly, what is Git? Git is like a tool that is used to manage multiple versions of source code. So let's say you have a source code, and you decided to create another version of that code. So Git will be responsible for managing those two versions of your code. Let's say you designed a software that performs a particular task or has some functionalities, and you decided to create another version of that software to improve the functionality. So instead of you overwriting the first version to create the second version, Git allows you to create a copy, or it allows you to create the newer version of that software without actually deleting or getting rid of the existing version, so that if the second version does not work, you can simply revert to the previous version. So this is the role that Git plays. So Git is very, very important. So in a nutshell, this is just what Git is. It's just a tool that helps you manage the versions of your source code or programs or software. Okay, so what is GitHub again? Some people might be thinking that Git and GitHub might be the same, or maybe the difference is not much. Yes, actually the difference is not much. GitHub serves as a location for uploading copies of a Git repositories. So that's just what GitHub does. Okay, so GitHub, it serves, like I said, as a location for uploading Git repositories. So if you have your source codes, okay, let's say you have a source codes managed by Git, so GitHub allows you to upload those source codes to your GitHub account so that you can be able to have access to them from anytime and anywhere. Okay, and you can be able to work directly on those files from GitHub. So this is just what GitHub is. GitHub account is very, very important actually. As a developer, you have to have a GitHub account, and you have to make sure you have a lot of repositories and commits as possible, because if you are to be hired today, a lot of companies now, they have to go through your GitHub account. They have to see all what you have been doing. They will be tracking your progress and a lot of things. So if you have less things on your GitHub, so they might not consider you. So GitHub is very, very important. So this is just one good thing about this Alex, because they help, as they teach you new things, they also help you build your social presence. Okay, they also help you build your GitHub account. So now let's get started to the project. So these are the materials that you are supposed to go through and read. So let me scroll down. So like I said, you have to make sure at the end, after reading these materials, you are able to answer these questions. So today we are not going to answer this because the task at hand will require a lot of time, and I don't want the video to be very long, so I'll just proceed to the tasks at hand. So the first task says create and set up your Git and GitHub account. So when you create GitHub, you automatically created a Git account. So if you have not created an account on GitHub, you can simply click here and create an account. But because I already have an account, I'm just going to log in. So this is my own GitHub account here. As you can see, there is nothing. It is a new account I've created. So let's go back to the project. So we've created an account, right? So the next step says create a personal access token on GitHub. So to create a personal access token, simply go to GitHub, come here and select this, go to settings, then scroll down here, go to developer settings, then come here, select personal access tokens. So just select this tokens classic. So click on this generate new token. So just give it a name. Let me just name it Alex first. Let me just name Alex first token. Then give it an expiration date. Just leave it 30 days. It's okay. So make sure you check on this repo. Scroll down. That's just all you need. Then click on generate token. So this token is going to serve as a password when you are trying to upload or make some changes on your GitHub from your terminal. Okay, so that's why you need this personal access token. So we are going to use the personal access token right away. So this is the personal access token. It is very, very important and confidential. So if you copy it now, you'll not be able to see it again. So you just have a single chance of seeing this code. So once you copy it, you have to go and find somewhere else to paste it so that it will be safe, because when you copy it from here and you leave the page, you are not going to have access to it again. So now let's see how we can use this token. But first, let's go back to the task. We've generated our personal access token, right? The next step is update your profile on the intranet. Update your intranet profile by adding your GitHub username here. I'm sure you've done that already. I've done that. If not, you can just click here to go back and add your GitHub username. If your username is not correct, the checker will not check. Okay, the checker will always fail. So make sure the username you put on your intranet is the same as your username of GitHub. So the next step says, using the graphic interface on the GitHub website, create your first repository. So the name of the first repository is ALX precourse. So let me just copy. So go back to GitHub, select this, click on your repository, then click on new. Yes, so the repository name, let me paste it, ALX precourse, right? So let's go back. The description is, I'm now a student of ALX and this is my first repository, right? So copy it also, paste it under the description field here. So make sure the repository is public. Okay, yes, it is set to public. Then no readme, no GitHub, no .gitignore or license. So it's okay like this. So just scroll down and click on create repository. Yes, so now we have successfully created our first repository on GitHub. So let's go back to the task. Let's scroll down. So the fourth step says open the sandbox on the intranet. Just under the task, click on the button get a sandbox and run to start the machine. Once the container is started, click on webtime to open a shell where you can start work from. So actually in this case, I'm not going to use the sandbox. Okay, I'm going to use the terminal that comes when you install the GitHub desktop. So let me open the terminal. This is it. As far as you installed GitHub desktop, just right click on your screen and it will display this option. Then click on this git bash here. So let me split my screen so that I'll be able to so this is it. So I will just open my sandbox here. Let me show you how you can connect your sandbox with the terminal here, with the external terminal. So this is it. Simply click on this SSH, copy it. When you click on it, it's going to copy. So paste and press enter. Then make sure you type in yes. So now it's asking for your password. This is the password. Just click on it to copy and paste it here. Note that when you paste anything in the password field on the terminal, it's not going to show the character. This is for security's sake. So you might be typing and be thinking that it's not showing or there's an error or something like. No, it's not an error. It's actually getting typed. It's just that you cannot see it for security's sake. Okay. Yes, so now I've successfully logged into my sandbox from the external terminal. So let me just clear my screen. So you can see this is how you can be able to connect the sandbox with the terminal. So but I'm not interested in using the sandbox like I said. So let me just go back to the project. All right, it says yes, so I've done step 4, right? So on the web term of the sandbox, do the following: clone your repository. You can remember the repository you created, right? So we are going to clone the repository. What is the essence of the cloning? We created this repository on our GitHub account, right? And now we are going to work on the terminal, not on the GitHub, right? So how can we be able to work inside that repository we created without actually going through the GitHub website? So we can do that when we clone that repository from our terminal. What this is going to do is it will create a copy of that repository for you on your local computer, so you can work on it directly from your terminal, and you can get it uploaded or updated on your GitHub account. So we are going to see how you can do that. So the essence of the clone is just that to get that repository on your local computer so that you can be able to work on it from your terminal instead of going to GitHub and be uploading, pressing this and doing that. So you can just work on it from your terminal. So let's see how we can do that. So this is the command to clone a repository. You can see it says git clone. So let's type in git clone, right? Then https, right? https // so then the personal access token we created, just paste. Okay, then at github.com, right? At github.com, then / your GitHub username, then / alxprecourse.git. so that is the repository we are cloning, the repository we just created on GitHub. So we are cloning that repository so that we'll be able to work on it. Okay, so just press enter. You can see it says cloning. So you appear to have cloned an empty directory. Yes, the directory is empty, right? We've not added any content to the directory. So now we have successfully cloned the directory. So the next thing we are going to do here is, it says we have already done that, replace. Yes, so we have already done this. Yes, so now the next step says create the readme.md and push the modifications. So what is this readme? The readme contains the description about your repository, what your repository is about, so that whenever someone visits your GitHub account and that person is going through your repositories, by reading the readme, the person is going to know exactly what this repository is about, or if the repository is regarding a software you're designing. So when the person go through the readme, that person will be able to know what this software is capable of doing. So that's just the essence of the readme. The readme is very, very important. Whenever you create a repository and you don't add the readme, the checker will always fail. So you just have to add the readme. So now we have to navigate to the new directory, right? So just cd alx, right, precourse. Yes, so now we are in the directory alx precourse. Let me clear my screen. We are in the directory. So create the file readme with the content, my first readme. So let me copy it. So this should be the content of the file. So if you want to create a file with a content, you can simply just say echo, right, then the content in double quotes. This is the content, right? My first readme, then this greater than symbol, then the file name readme.md. This will create this file readme.md and will add this content to the file. Okay, so just press enter. So let me list the content of the file. You can see the readme.md is now available. Let me cut into the file to see if the content is there. So you can see my first readme. So now we have created the readme, right? So what is the next thing we are supposed to do? It says update your Git identity. So we are going to update our username and also our email. So this is the command. Just copy it. Git config global user.name. Just paste. So enter your email in the quotes. Then press enter. So now you have updated your email address. So let's see if it has been updated successfully. So just git config user.name, sorry, user.email, since it's our email that we just updated. So you can see it has been updated. So the next one is the username, right? You have to update the identity of your username, you have to update your username as well. So just paste, then your username also in double quote. So my username is, so just press enter. So to see the username, you can just type in git config user.name. So you can see this is the username. So you have successfully updated your Git identity. So the next thing they are saying is add this new file to Git, commit the changes with this message, and push to the remote server. So what they are asking us to do is that the new file we created, which is the readme.md, we should add the file to Git, commit the file and also push the file to our GitHub account. So when we do this process, when you come back to your GitHub account, you will be able to see that readme file from here. Okay, so we done we created the file from our terminal, and we can also be able to see the file on our GitHub. So that's just what they are asking us to do. So to do that, you just have to use the command git add dot. What this git add does is that it finds all the changes you made to a particular file, and it push those changes to an area that is called the staging area, in which they are temporarily stored. Okay, so this is just what this git add does. So git add dot, this dot here is like I'm targeting all the changes, but in this case, since it is only one file, you can type in the file name. But if you are dealing with more files, you made changes to a lot of files, instead of listing these files one by one, you can just use the full stop here, the dot here, to target all changes. So but it's okay if you use this right now as well. So just git add and press enter. So now if I type in git status, so these are the files, these are the changes that I've made to this file. Okay, it's going to show you the file in which you made the changes. So this is the file readme.md, right? So this is the file. So it is currently in the staging area. So the next thing I'm going to do is git commit. So what this git commit does is that it fetches all the files in the staging area and then save them. Okay, it saves the files from the staging area. It makes sure that all the changes you made are saved. So that's just what this git commit does. So whenever you use this commit, you have to pass a message that will kindly be like a description to show what the changes you made are. Okay, what are the changes that you made? So to do that, you simply type in the -m. So this is trying to show that you are trying to pass a message. Okay, so let me call it, or they said we should name it my first commit, right? So click on copy, then paste, then press enter. So you can see it says one file changed. So now we have permanently saved these changes. The next thing we are going to do is just git push. What this git push is going to do is it will push these changes and this file that we just created to our GitHub account, and we are going to see that right now. So just press enter. Yes, so it has been pushed successfully. So let's go back here. You can see we created this readme file from our terminal, right? So let me just refresh my GitHub page. So you can see the file has been created, readme, and this is the content of that file, readme, right? My first readme. So this is just what we are going to be doing throughout this program. You'll be creating a lot of repositories, and you'll be doing a lot of commits and pushes to your GitHub account. It's very, very interesting actually. So let's go back. So we are done with this. The next thing we are going to do is just click on the check for the checker to check if we've passed the checks. So we can see we have passed the checks. So let's close. So let's go to the next task. Before that, let me clear my screen here. The next task says create a new directory called 0x01 git in your ALX pre-course. So we are going to create a new directory, right? So we are going to say mkdir to create the directory, right? So, and they said in your ALX pre-course repo. Okay, so we've done that. So make sure you include a non-empty readme in your directory. So let's cd into the new directory and create a readme file. So let's create a readme file, echo, let me just name it task 1. You have to be descriptive enough, okay? Yeah, just don't mind me, just be descriptive. readme.md. Okay, so we've created a non-empty readme. So at the root of your repository, ALX pre-course. So we've done that. That's created the readme at the root of the repository, and also in the directory 0x01 git. We've also done that. We've already created a readme file in this ALX pre-course. Okay, so had it mean we've not created the file, this check will not be complete. So the next thing they say, and important part, make sure you commit and push your code to GitHub, otherwise the checker will always fail, just like I said. So now I'm going to just say git add dot git commit just say task 1, then git push. So let me check. That's just what they are asking us to do. Yes, so we've passed this check as well. So the second task says, for the moment we have an empty project directory containing only a readme.md. It's time to code. Okay, so they said inside 0x01 git, create these directories at the root of your project. So we are to create these 3 directories here, bash, c, and gs. So let me first clear my screen. So let me start creating this directory. Bash, you can create multiple directories at a time. Okay, so this is how you can do that. mkdir bash, then c, then gs. So this will create 3 directories for us at the same time. So let me list the content of this directory and you'll be able to see them. So you can see these are the directories I just created. So they said create these empty files as well. So c/c is fun. So from here you can be able to know that this c is fun.c is a file contained inside this c repository. So how can you create this empty file? So I can just say touch. From here I can just say touch c/, let me copy the file. Instead of me going into the directory to create this file, I can just do it from here. So just c is fun, and then I've created the file. So let me cd into the directory and you'll be able to see this file. So let me ls. So you can see this is the file. So instead of me coming into the directory before creating the file, I just created the file outside the directory. So you can also do that. So these are some shortcuts that you just have to know. Same applies to this. So they said js. So this file is called main.js and it should be created in the js repository. So let me do mkdir and paste this as well. So this file will also be created inside the JS repository. Same applies to this. Just copy, also paste here. So we have created these files in our JS. So let me cd into my JS. Let me list the content. So you can see these 2 files, index.js and also the main.js. So the next thing we are supposed to do is create a file bash/alx with these 2 lines inside. Okay, so now let's cd into alx. Let's cd into bash. Okay, seems like I'm in the JS directory. Let me go back to the parent directory. Okay, so cd bash. So now I'm inside bash. Let me clear my screen. So they said we should create a file called alx with these 2 lines inside. So let me create the file using vi alx, open, go to insert mode by pressing I. So add these 2 lines of code. So just copy this, paste, go to the next line, copy this as well and paste, right? So escape :wq to save and exit. So they ask again to create another file called school with these 2 lines inside as well. So I will just say vi school to open the file, press I to go to the insert mode. So copy this first line here, copy, paste, then echo school also should be the second line, copy it and paste here. So we have added these 2 lines, right? So escape WQ to save and exit. So add all these new files to git. So just git add dot git commit to commit. So let me just name it task 2. Oops, sorry, Control C to cancel. Git commit. All right, so git push. Yes, so we've pushed it. Oops, sorry, there was a mistake. The commit, when committing your changes, use this message starting to code today. So cool. So it will still work if I check using the checker it will work, but this is what they ask you to do. Actually, I didn't I forgot to check on it before I pushed. So instead of this task 2 that I wrote here, you are supposed to type in started to code today. So cool. Okay, so let me just run the check. Whoa. So you can see the checker fails. Why? I think it's because we only committed those changes inside the bash repository, right? Wow. So let's go back, cd dot. Okay, so let's git add dot again, git commit -m. So let me copy this message here, let me not forget it this time. Copy, then paste, right? Then git push. So we have to check again. Hopefully it will work now. Yes, so it worked. Okay, so the reason why it fails initially is because I added and committed and pushed the changes only in the bash repository. You remember in the bash directory, where is it? Here in the bash directory. So, and there are some changes that I've not committed, so that's why it failed. So you just have to be able to see and also read your errors. Okay, so here comes the next task. It's saying collaboration is the base of a company. Yeah, cool. A branch is like a copy of your project. It's used mainly for adding features in development, collaborating on the same project. Just go. This is just trying to explain to you what branch is all about. Actually, what branching is this. Let's say we are working on the same project. Let's say you have a partner. 2 of you are supposed to work on the same project. So instead of you to be logging into the account or into the same account doing the project, it's kind of frustrating. So one of you can create a branch. Okay, so after you've done all the necessary things you are supposed to do, you can merge your 2 branches to become a single branch. Okay, so this is just what branching is. It allows you to work with multiple of people. So branching is very, very important. So this is the topic, or this is the part they are trying to explain here. So the purpose of branch is to isolate your work from the main code base of your project and or from your co-workers' work, just like I explained. So for this project, create a branch update script. So we have to create a branch called update script. So to create a branch, just type in git branch, then the branch name. So your branch has now been successfully created. So to see the list of your branches, you just type in git branch -a. So this is the branch we just created, update script, right? So this is your current branch. So this is the main branch, it's called the master, and this is the branch we just created. So they said after creating the branch, create an empty file named bash/98, right? So what we are going to do now is we have to switch to this branch update script. So everything we'll be doing in this task is on this new branch that we created, update script. So how can we switch to this branch? So to switch to a branch, you just type in git checkout, right? Then the branch name, update. Oops, sorry, there's a typo here. There's supposed to be a P. Yes, so update script. So you can see it says switch to branch update script. So let me display the list of the branches again. So you can see this is showing green now. So this is showing our active branch. Here, before we switch, the master here is active. So now we have successfully switched to the update script. So let me clear my screen. So now what they're asking us is create an empty file named bash/98. First, let me list the content. So okay, you can see we have bash, C and JS. So they ask us to create a file inside this bash called 98. So let's do that. Touch bash/98. So we have created this file. Yes, so the next thing they're asking us to update bash/alx. We have to update this file alx inside the bash by replacing the echo alx with this. So we are going to make some changes to this alx file, right? So let me just cd into bash first, then vi alx. Okay, so they ask us to replace this line with this. So let me copy this, copy, and let me remove this and paste. Okay, escape WQ to save and exit. So we are done with that. So this also asks us to update the file school by replacing this with this. So let me copy this as well. We are going to make changes to this file also. So vi school to open the file, I to enter insert mode, then delete this line here and then paste the new content, then save and exit. So we are done with that as well. So the next thing is add, commit and push, right? Let me first clear my screen. So let me add git add dot, right, then git commit -m. So let me copy this. This is the commit message they ask us to use. Then git push. So when you use git push, it's going to display something like this. So because you are pushing from another branch, you cannot use the command git push and push directly to the main branch. No, you have to use this command git push set upstream origin and then your branch name. So just copy the command here, then come here and paste. So press enter. So now it has been successfully pushed. They said, perfect, you did an amazing update in your project and it's isolated currently from the main branch. Okay, so oh wait, your manager needs a quick fix in your project and it needs to be deployed now. So they're asking you to change branch to main. So you have to switch to main branch. So we have to say git checkout, right, then master. In this case it's master. Okay, so before it's in GitHub they called it main, but now it's called master. So main and master is the same thing. So click on enter. So now your branch is up to date with origin /master. We have switched back to branch master. So let me clear this. So the next thing they said, we should update the file by/lx by replacing echo lx with this. Okay, so let's copy this. We have to cd into bash. Okay, we are in bash already. So vi alx. So this is the file they are asking us to delete. Let's delete this line and let's paste it here. So escape, save and exit. So they ask us to delete the directory js. So we just say rm -r js. No, sorry, I have to go back to the parent directory. Yes, so rm -r js. So I've done that. So commit your changes. Okay, so git add dot git commit hotfix, that's the message, hotfix, then git push. So this is just what they asked from us. So let's try to run the check and see. So we can see we've passed all the checks. So this is just what this thing is about. They are just trying to show you how you can create a branch, how you can switch from one branch to the other, and the importance of branching when you are in a team, okay, and working on a project. So this is just what this task is trying to talk about. So this next task is asking that for this task and only for this task, please update your file readme.md in the main branch from github.com. It's only time you are allowed to update and commit from GitHub interface. So they are just asking us to go to GitHub, our GitHub account here, and make some changes to this file readme.md in our repository. So this is the file. So let me just click on this to edit it. So let me just say my edited first readme. Let me just leave it like this, my edited first readme. Just come down here and click on commit. So this is just what they're asking from us, my edited first readme. So you can see I've made some changes to the readme, right? So let's scroll down. After you have done that, then go back to your terminal, get all changes of the main branch locally, that is your readme.md file will be updated. What they are trying to tell us is that Now that we have made these changes here, right, how can we be able to view these changes from our terminal? As you can see from here, if I say let me go back to the home. So if I say cat readme.md, I'm trying to view the same readme file. You can see it's still showing my first readme, and I have made a change to this file. Why can't it show here? It's because this terminal here, my file on this terminal are not up to date with this, okay, are not up to date with what is in my GitHub account. So what I'm going to do is make sure that everything on my terminal is up to date with that. So to do that, I can just use git pull, just use the git pull and press enter. So it will pull all the changes that you've made on your GitHub account to your terminal. So after I've done that, it says create a new file up to date at the root of your directory. Okay, so let me copy it. We are going to create a file up to date and write the git command line used. So we are going to write in the git command that we use to pull these changes. So let's see if the changes is now reflecting on our terminal. Let me say cat readme.md. So you can see the changes has now reflected on my terminal. Also, my edited first readme, my edited first readme. So whenever you make a change on your GitHub account, so you just use the git pull command to make sure your terminal is up to date with what is in your GitHub account. So that's just the essence of this git pull. Okay, so they said we should create a file. Let's create this file. Let's call it up to date, right? And they said we should type in the command we used. So I will just say echo. I will type in the command, which is git pull, right? So that's the command, then the file name, up to date. So I will paste it, press enter. So let me list the content of the file. Yes, so you can see the file has been created. So now the next thing is to add and commit. Okay, so git add dot git commit with the message. The message is how to be up to date in Git, right? Then git push. So let's scroll down and click on check. Oops, seems like there's something we missed. Okay, this file is supposed to be created inside this repo. Okay, ls. Okay, so we created the file here, so let me just remove it and go back to that repo and create it. So cd into 0x01. This is the repo they ask us to create this is the directory they ask us to create this file inside. Okay, yes, so now I'm inside. So I will just say echo, type the answer we used, git pull, then the file name up to date, press enter. So ls. So you can see the file has been created now. So let me clear my screen. So git add git commit how to be up to date in Git, right? Then git push. So let's run the check again and see if it will work. Yes, so you can see it worked. So we've passed all the checks. So let's scroll to the next task. Collaboration is cool, but not really when you update the same file at the same time. To illustrate that, please merge the branch of this script to main. So what this is trying to explain to you is conflict. What is conflict? Conflict is like both you and your partner working on the same file at the same time, making changes. So it means that the content of your file will be different with the content of his file, and it is that the same file. So that will create a conflict. Okay, if you have variations in your file, right, so it will create conflict. So this is just trying to show how you can resolve this conflict and what this conflict is. So it's asking us to merge the branch update script to main. So first, when you are to merge, you have to make sure you are in the branch you want to merge to, not the branch you want to merge, the branch you want to merge to. So we want to merge to the master branch, right? So you have to make sure you are in the master branch. So let's check that. Git check out, git branch Yes, so you can see we are in the master branch, so you have to make sure you are in the branch you want to merge to. Then use this command here, git merge, then the branch you want to merge, update script, right? This branch here, this is the branch we want to merge, so update script, press enter. So you can see it says conflict content, right? Merge conflict in. So it will show you the file in which there's a conflict. The reason why there is this conflict is because we tried using different content on the same file, right? That person has his own content and I also have my own content, and we are using different branches, but the file we are editing is the same, and there is a little variation in the content inside that file. So that's why conflict will be created. So you have to resolve this conflict. You have to make the content of these two files very the same. Okay, so it's showing the file here 0x01 git bash /alx. So let's go down. So let's check. Let me just say, let me cd into bash, right? So that I'll resolve the conflict. VIALX, open the file. So you can see it displaying this for you, right? The head, this is it. Echo in update script, this is what we have, this echo ALX code, while in the main branch this is what we have, echo. So you have to choose which one you are ready to leave. Are you willing to delete the one from the main branch, or are you willing to delete the one from the new branch? So let's check what they ask us to do. As you can see, you have conflict between two branches on the same file. Yes, we've seen that. So your goal now is to resolve conflict by using the version of the branch update script and push the result to the origin. So what we are going to do is they ask us to use the version of the branch update script. So this is the version of the branch update script. So we are going to leave this one and we are to delete the one for the master branch. So let me delete this from here, right? So since they ask us to leave that of the update script, right? So just remove this. So just save and exit, right? So the next thing they ask us is at the end you should have all your work from the branch update script, new file and 2 updated files, and all latest main commits, new files, delete folder, etc. without conflict. Yes. So the next thing is to git add, right? So git commit, let me just name it task 5 since there is no message for this commit. Yes. So had it mean we have not resolved that conflict, it will display the conflict error here when we try to commit this message. Okay, so by showing this, it shows that yes, we have successfully resolved that conflict. Then git push. Yes, so we have successfully pushed our changes. So let's check. Yes, so we can see, so you can see we've passed all the checks. So this is how you can be able to handle conflict. This is conflict, and this is how you can be able to handle this conflict. I don't know if I'm explanative enough, but I just hope you get the idea. It's not that I'm going to explain everything that you must understand. Okay, I'm just trying to explain the idea as far as we get the idea and the concept, so that's also a good thing. So let's go to the next task. It says create a .gitignore file and file a rule to never push this file. Okay, so let me clear my screen. So let's see how to create this .gitignore file. So to do that, you have to be in the directory 0x01. Okay, so let me cd into the main repo. Okay, so this is the file. So let's create this file called gitignore. So we have to say touch, right, .gitignore, then press enter. Okay, so let me list the file. So you can see from here you are not able to see this .gitignore. So let me open it. .gitignore. Yes, so this is my .gitignore file. Press I to go to the insert mode. So you have to type this here. So inside this .gitignore file, anything you type in is going to be hidden. Okay, so this is just asking us to create a file and define a rule to never push this. So even if there is this symbol here in any of our files, it is not going to push it, okay, because we defined a rule in our .gitignore to never push such files. So press escape, WQ. So this is just what it is asking us to do. So git add, git add, okay, then git commit. Let me just name it task 6. Like I said, you have to be descriptive enough, okay. This is just for this practical sake. Then git push. Okay, so let's check our code. Yes, so you can see we've passed all the checks. So this is just what you need to know about the Git. So from now on, you always be adding, committing and pushing, adding, committing and pushing, adding, committing and pushing. Whatever you did on your terminal, you have to push it to your GitHub. Had this mean we've not done the cloning, you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to push all the files you created here to your GitHub account. So GitHub is very, very important. So also these commands, you have to know how to use this command. These commands are not difficult to master, okay, but with practice you'll be able to use this command at any time you wish, okay. You'll be able to master them and do a lot of things with them. It's very, very interesting. So this brings us to the end of today's session. If there is anything you don't understand, please, you can just go through the materials. I'm sure you'll understand that, because I also know maybe I'm not explanative enough, but I just try as much as possible to voice out the content and also the key things and important things you need to know. I also went ahead and do the entire tasks for you, which I'm not supposed to, because it's like I'm seizing the learning opportunity from you. But actually some people will learn, and I'm sure some people will practice after watching this video. So if you like this session, simply leave a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that you get notified whenever we post the next video. Thank you very much. Till we meet in our next session.